All right, so today we're talking about tips for Valentine's Day on a budget. I'm Tim Gosnell, and on this channel we talk about personal finance and money in a way that's hopefully fun, a little laid back, not so buttoned up. So come along for the ride, hit subscribe. So we're going to talk through some tips, and hopefully it'll be helpful if you're on a budget. So the first thing that we want to do is to not do nothing. So we want to do something. And the caveat to that is assuming your partner is somebody who likes Valentine's Day, because I think Melissa would be okay if her husband didn't do anything.
Yes,
is that right? Yeah,
that's right.
But you got to know them. And so you don't want to not do something because you don't want to do something. That's where we get wrong. Because if you're the tightwad, if you're the budgeter, if you're the number cruncher and you're like, money's tight, so I'm not going to do anything. Are you okay with not doing anything? They're not okay. I'm not going to say that it's always going to be a woman. I'm not going to box in genders. But they really want you to do something, and you can do something. And I think some of the most meaningful things are when we don't have a lot of resources, meaning like we're making sacrifices. So if you're in that position, for you to sacrifice some of your things, some of your spending, sacrificing your time to maybe work a little extra to generate some income, to sell some things around the house that you're not using that you've been meaning to get rid of. If you're willing to do that, the gift is so much more meaningful. So number one, we want to not do nothing. But number two, we don't want to go into debt. So if you really don't have money for this, we don't want to be buying things and doing things that we can't afford. We don't want to be putting dinner on a credit card that you're not being able to pay off in full at the end of the month. We don't want to be going to Jared's and buying a really nice necklace and putting that on finance. So we want to be doing things that we can actually afford and that you can pay cash for. So that's number two. Number three is we want to get creative, right? Get creative. A lot of budgeting and life is about problem solving. And so it's not about saying, and this is the open mindset that I'm a big fan of. We don't want to say, I can't afford to do this, or we can't afford to do anything. We want to say, how can I afford it? What can I afford? So there's several ways that we can get things. We can either make some extra money, find things for really cheap, or we can, create a movie night at home with a movie that you guys watched while you were dating. You can, sit on the couch and kind of scroll through pictures. Make it intentional, make it planned, make it fun, make it creative, right? It doesn't have to be expensive. Number four is getting flowers. These are number four, number five are very tactical, very practical, but it's like get flowers directly from a grocery store or a discount club rather than from a florist. The interesting thing about flowers, because I just recently bought some flowers for Sarah, is they were $18. And I was thinking back, I'm like, that's almost exactly what I was paying for flowers when we were in high school. So almost 20 years ago, flowers are not more expensive. So they have not been, and I'm sure there's a reason for it. Somebody can look it up and tell me in the comments why inflation is not. There are several areas where inflation hasn't touched it at all. Like clothing, a lot of clothing you can still get for very cheap. And it feels like the price is not, I can still get pants for less than $20. I think these pants from Sam's Club that I'm wearing that I actually really like, they were like $16 or something like that. And that, again, I'm used to paying about $20 for pants my entire adult life. Same thing's true with flowers, but get them from a grocery store, find a nice vase, buy a nice vase, arrange them, but get them in like the little wrapped in paper. That's going to save quite a bit of money, because from a florist, you're going to be paying 60 plus to probably on average like 100, especially if you're getting them delivered from a florist. So that'll save. So you can still get flowers, just get them less expensive. And then greeting cards is number five, and that's pick up a greeting card from the dollar store. Now, that's probably the cheapest sounding thing on this list. It sounds, you don't want to broadcast that you're getting it from the dollar store. But the thing is, cards are ridiculous.
They are.
It is absolutely ridiculous, because they're like, it's very easy, especially on these holidays like Valentine's Day and Mother's Day, where they know a bunch of dopey guys are going down the card aisle and like, I got to get this.
Into CVS,
we don't care. We just know that we need to get it. And so they're going to rip us off and charge us $10+ for a greeting card.
Not Tim Gosnell.
Not Tim Gosnell. You can go to the dollar. I mean, actually, I do sometimes. This is if you're on a budget. We're not quite on the budget. There have been times where I have been in positions, but still a lot of times now we're at the point where I will pick up the
You will blindly pick up a card.
So pick up a card from the dollar store. They're $1.25. It'll save you $9-10. Now, save $9 or $10. You're halfway there on a dozen roses from Kroger.
Exactly.
So that's good. But the thing about greeting cards, I'm sorry, I'm going back to greeting cards, because you go to a kid's birthday party. They have 20 friends there. Each one of the friends buys them a card for $5. That's $100 in greeting cards that are just getting thrown in the trash. It blows my mind the amount of money that is wasted on greeting cards. And I have to imagine that child would rather have $100 bill than 20 greeting cards.
I would think.
But Anyway, say that for another day. Maybe I should get into the
It's
greeting
Tim's
card
rant.
business. Yeah.
Greeting cards.
Things that get my goat. All right. So that's it. Hopefully you have a great Valentine's Day. Love on the people in your life. Show them that you care. Relationships are way more valuable than money. And I'll see you next time on the channel.